welcome to In the English Corner. Today I want to review the use of capital letters. Now there are many rules related to the proper use of capital letters. So rather than putting them all on one video, I've divided the rules into two parts. So feel free first to listen to the first part, follow my rules. I'm going to include some suggestions and some sample questions. And then feel free to listen to part 2, which will be a continuation of the many rules for the use of capitals. So let's start with the first rule for capital letters, and that is capitals are used for the names of people, titles if they come before a person's name, and for the word I. Let's look at some examples to clarify. The first one, Susan and Jim went to the store to buy new boots. You've got the names Susan and Jim, and because that's their name, you capitalize them. The second example, Gary Brown is a very good athlete. His full name is Gary, his last name is Brown, so you have to capitalize both Gary and Brown. The third example, we were excited to meet President Lily Andrews. In this example, we is the first word, so you capitalize. And Lily Andrews is the person's name. Her first name's Lily, her last name's Andrews, so you'd capitalize. Her title is president. That's her role or her title. So therefore, because it is her title, you would have to capitalize the word president and then her name Lily Andrews. And in the last example, Mr. Motley is the new owner of the variety store at the corner. His title is Mr., so you capitalize the M and the first letter of his last name, Motley. So the second rule for the use of capitals is you must capitalize the first word in a sentence or in a direct quotation. So please let's look at this example to clarify. John will be arriving late to the meeting. His name is John, and that's the first word, so you'd capitalize the word John. The second example, the sales clerk said, "Please take your purchase to the cashier." Now this is a quote you can see from the quotation marks, and you always capitalize the first word, the first letter of the word directly following the quotation. So the letter P would be capitalized because it's the start of the quote. And in the last example, "If you do not feel well," said Bert, "Mary will help you." So here's the quotation marks. You always start the beginning of a sentence with a capital. Bert would be capitalized because that's his name. And then you've got the continuation of the quotation and her name. So here you would capitalize it because her name is Mary. So in this example, if and Mary are both capitalized. Now these are rules on quotation marks, and there are quite a few rules to understand. So feel free, if you're not certain how to use quotation marks properly and punctuation within quotation marks, to take a look at my video on the use of quotation marks. So the next rule is the third one. You would capitalize the names of specific places. Let's look at these examples. The first one, John graduated from James High School last year and he's going to attend McGill University in the spring. So John is capitalized because it's the beginning of the sentence and it's his name. And now you capitalize the specific names of places. So the name of his high school is James High School. All three must be capitalized. And he's attending McGill University, so you'd capitalize the M in McGill and the U in University. So you do not capitalize, however, nouns if the specific name of the place or the person is not given. So in this next example, John graduated from high school last year and he's going to attend university in the spring. Please note that in this example, you would capitalize the first word John because that's his name, but you're not naming his high school. You're just saying he's graduating from high school. So you would not use a capital on the words high and school. And he's going to attend university, but it's any university. It's not the specific name of a university. And therefore, you would not capitalize the word university. The fourth rule is you would capitalize the names of days of the week, months, and holidays, as well as religious occasions. So let's look at these examples. On Thursday afternoon in April, the week before Easter, I will be attending a conference. Thursday, capitalize because it's the day of the week. April, you capitalize all months. And Easter is the name of the holiday. And of course, I is always capitalized. The next example, we celebrate both Hanukkah and Christmas in our home. The two holidays must be capitalized. But please note that you do not capitalize. You always use small letters for the seasons. So you never capitalize spring, summer, fall, and winter. And that's a rule to remember. The fifth rule for the use of capitals is you always capitalize the names of all commercial products. And looking at examples here, Quaker Oats is healthy and low in fat and calories. The name of the product, the commercial name, is Quaker Oats. So you must capitalize the Q and the O of the name of this commercial product. In the second example, I know all the commercials for Herbal Essence, Dove, and Sassoon shampoo. Well, we always capitalize I and the first word of a sentence. But take a look here. These are all names of commercial products. Herbal Essence is one, Dove, the D, and the S in Sassoon. However, you use small letters for the types of product. So these aren't product names in this example. We eat oatmeal, fruit, and toast for breakfast every day. No capitals because it's not the actual commercial name of the product. So therefore, you would just use the small letters and not the caps. The sixth rule for the use of capitals is you capitalize family relationships when you're using them as names. Let's take a look at the example because rules are tricky, but when you actually look at examples more closely, I think it reinforces the rule and it makes it easier for you to understand and also to remember. The first example, my Aunt Jane won the public speaking contest. Of course, you always start with a capital. And her family relationship, her title is Aunt Jane. So you'd have to capitalize both. If you just said your aunt was coming over, it's not her title, so it wouldn't be capitalized. But you're calling her by her title, Aunt Jane, so it's capitalized. The second example, I visit Grandma Brown every Sunday afternoon. Well, you always start with a capital. And her family relationship, her title name is Grandma, and her last name is Brown, so those are capitalized. And all days of the week are capitalized. In the last example, keep the noise down or you will upset father. Keep is capitalized because it's the beginning of the sentence. And you'd capitalize the F in father because that's his family relationship. You're using it as a name and it's your family relationship with him. Now note this rule here, that you do not capitalize the words mother, father, aunt, uncle, grandmother, grandfather when these words are preceded by the following words. Preceded means these words come before. That's what preceded means. So the words my, your, our, or any other possessive word, if they come before the noun mother, father, aunt, uncle, you would not capitalize those words. Let's look at the examples again to make it a bit clearer. The first one, give Grandma a hand while she gets into the car. In this case, you capitalize the G in Grandma because it's her family relationship. You're using it as a name. It'd be the same as saying give Judy a hand while she gets into the car. You would capitalize that. But if you say give your grandma a hand while she gets into the car, you're no longer addressing her. It's no longer her family relationship. And because the word your comes before grandma, you would not capitalize the word. Or if you said your uncle is coming next week, you would not use a capital on uncle as well. Sorry. So moving along, you use small letters when a person's title appears by itself without a specific name. Let's look closely at this rule. For example, I wrote an angry letter to our mayor. In this example, this first one here, mayor is not capitalized because there's no specific name with it. It's not a title that you're giving him, it's just his job. He's a mayor. But in the second one, I wrote an angry letter to Mayor Stone. That's his title and his role. So his last name's capitalized Stone and his title is mayor. So you capitalize both words. In this next example, I drove to Dr. Grath's office for my early appointment. His actual title is Doctor and his last name is Grath, so both are capitalized. But in the final example, I drove to the doctor for an early appointment. No capital on that word doctor because you're not addressing him. It's not his title. It's just his job. The seventh rule is you capitalize all names of companies, associations, unions, clubs, political groups, and other official organizations. And let's look at these examples. The first one. The Oakville Track and Field Club has won many track meets. That is the name of an association or an organization. So you capitalize the O, the T, the F, and the C because it's the name of the club, Oakville Track Field Club. The second example, my sister belongs to the Democratic Party. It's the name of the political group, which we mention up here, political groups. Democratic Party, if you said the Conservative Party, the Republican Party, all those would be capitalized. The third example, my aunt has been a Girl Guide leader for over 20 years. And in the last one, because this is a company, my car is insured with, and the full name of the company. Alliance is capitalized, car, insurance company. And my house is insured with Ozar Home Insurance Company, Ozar Home Insurance and Company. Okay? And then the eighth rule, capitalize the names of nationalities, religions, races, tribes, and languages. And let's look at these examples. My mother is Protestant and my father is Roman Catholic. So Protestant would be capitalized, Roman and Catholic, and that is because they're all religions. The second example, he is a famous African American author. You would capitalize African and the word American because you capitalize all races and tribes. And in the last example, she speaks French, Spanish, and German fluently. You capitalize all languages, French, Spanish, and German. So I'm going to stop with these 8 rules right now, and I hope that I've clarified many of the uses of capitals, and feel free to review these again. And I suggest you do look at the second part of my capitals video because there are a lot of very important rules in the second half.